Okay, we're on. Welcome.
Hey, welcome everyone.
All right. Well, here we are at No BS with BS. Real talk, real support, real solutions. We're here to help everyone become the best version of themselves
Right.
with no BS.
No BS. And
Well,
and
except
Betsy
for
and I
us.
are, we already started off like, warming up, talking about stuff, and we had to actually pull back and say, whoa, we got to save it for the show because we were having way too much fun and we want to be able to share that all with everybody too. We have this
Well,
energy.
maybe too much fun. Like in on game talk shows or whatever, when they bring out the person ahead of time to warm up the audience, we were kind of just warming up our own selves, So,
Exactly.
but yeah, we're so happy to be here. I mean, today, we want to talk about being stuck. I think we've all been here if we're not still there. It's kind of always a work in progress, as far as I can tell, to
Yes.
stay unstuck, to keep moving forward, to become the person that we want to be, to live the life that we desire and we deserve. So we want to talk about that today. There's so many different facets and so many different layers to that, that we could probably be here for a couple of hours talking about it. So we're just going to try to dive into a couple today. And so if anybody wants to go ahead and something that we're not discussing and you want to discuss it, or you have a question, put it in the chat, and we will try to get to you as soon as possible. Sometimes I'm not very good at looking at that, watching that, but I'm going to be better today. And hopefully our chat is enabled today. Last time it was not enabled, so we had to do kind of the question and answer thing, but we should be all good today. We've got Cliff is here with us. Or Cliff, leave me a message in the chat. Just let me know that you're on and you can see us and you're all good. We'll wait for Cliff.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, I'm really excited to talk about today about being unstuck because, like you said, Betsy, we all get stuck, and I know I've talked about this in the past. We have to give ourselves grace. You know what I'm saying? Because every time we move to a new season, you're going to feel stuck at some level because we've never been there before. So, like you said, it's an ongoing thing. So, how do we recognize when we're moving into a new season or something new in life that we feel stuck? But then, where are we going to get those answers? Where are we going to find the direction in that moment to sit here and say, "I've never been up here before." So again, understanding that it's okay to be stuck just means that we need to do the work to push through whatever that is.
Right. And I wanted to talk about some of the reasons that people get stuck, right?
Let's go.
So I think I'm just going to name a few and we can kind of just go from there. One is past experiences, past conditioning, our limiting beliefs that we've either imposed on ourselves or maybe were imposed upon us as we grew up. The present company that you keep. Sometimes the people that you hang out with want to keep you where you are, right? Which only makes sense because that's your group, that's who you hang out with, right? And if you aspire to do something different, not, I mean, I don't want to say better, like you're better than them, but you want to kind of move past where you're at, and take on a new role. Sometimes they hold you back, right? And we talked about that briefly, about sometimes when you're going for something new in your life, you don't always share it with everybody. Sometimes you have to keep it quiet and keep it to yourself, because just because those people love you, sometimes they're going to hold you back because they're afraid of the unknown for you and they don't want you to
Absolutely.
fail. So sometimes it's the company you keep. Sometimes it's past experiences and past, limiting beliefs and things like that. So maybe add on to that, Steve, if you can think of any others. Otherwise, we can dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, when we're talking about those past, we're also looking at what we call the tools. What were the tools that were passed down from you from generation to generation? And if we're stuck, we have to really look at why we're stuck. And then we can sit here and put a vision up here. I want to be XYZ, happy, whatever. To me, happy is it's too gray. You got to get even more specific of what happiness is. But I hear that all the time from my clients. But the thing is, if you're not getting there, you have to look at what are those tools. So many people will say, I don't want to look at my past, Steve. It hurts. Don't make me look it up. I'm doing all I can just to what? Repress that stuff. Okay. No, that's where we learn. We have to be bold enough to look at our stuff, to sit there and going, I'm doing that, and that is not helping me get to the point I want to be. And if we would just take those thoughts captive, we would write those things down, that's going to give you so much wisdom about why you're stuck. Because then I could ask and say, hey, this screwdriver that you use to tweak the carburetor on an old V8, that works well, but now go work on a new car, right? What? It worked on my carburetor, but guess what? You got fuel injection over here and that screwdriver don't work anymore. So you have to get new tools based on the new seasons that you're going into.
Right, right. And sorry, I've had a cold, so I've a little bit of frog here.
I thought you had something super profound and you're sitting and go, I don't want you guys to miss this because it's super profound. I'm helping you out here, Betsy.
I have nothing profound to say ever.
Yes, you do. We just talked about something super profound earlier, but we're saving that for another webinar.
I know. We can't talk about that.
We can't talk about that. That's coming.
I know. Well, it is coming. So don't miss the next webinars. All right. Now I'm so hot. I'm like, all right. Woo, it's like, by the way, it's really warm in my room today. It's like 71 degrees in here. I need to open up a window or something. So we're now I completely lost track of what we were
talking about.
We're talking about your tools.
Yes.
Limiting beliefs. Oh, I want to talk about limiting beliefs, because you're talking about the tools in your toolbox and things like that. And so basically you have to identify what you're going for and why you can't get there, right? So I'm going to use this really simple example of I want to get rich, right? I want to make more money. Well, why do you not do that, right? Some people are given the tools to make more money. Some people actually make more money and go right back down to where they were before, right? Because they keep hitting that roadblock. And what it is they keep hitting that limiting belief. So they might come up here, they're making money, limiting belief, boom, back down again. Okay. And that limiting belief, a lot of times, a lot of us can relate to this. We grew up and we were told that, money is bad, money doesn't make you happy. Rich people are evil, things like that. So that's where you get this, even though you say to yourself, well, that's ridiculous. Of course I want money, right? You do here in your conscience, right? But your subconscious says, no, you've always been told that money is bad, right? How many times have we all been told that, money doesn't bring you happiness, money isn't everything, that's not the answer? Well, I do have to say that it is the answer for a lot of things like paying bills. It's very helpful. You want to go on vacation, super helpful to have money.
Right.
But yeah, that's just a simple statement, right? Okay. I mean, that's about as simplistic as I can put it. When there's other things like, how come I can't be in a healthy relationship? Right? That's a whole different level of limiting beliefs that you maybe picked up from examples of childhood, things like that, what are some other ones? As a woman, how come I don't have more say in the finances? Well, maybe you grew up in a household where, the dad took care of all the finances, and the mom stayed at home and you never learned about it and you were never given, that responsibility. So there's lots of things like that. But let's go back to a lot of people, I think, get stuck with happiness, like you said. And what is happiness? So how do we define happiness, Steve?
Right. Well, happiness is an emotion, okay? An emotion that can come and go. So if we're putting so much stock into what happiness is and it's an emotion, well, guess what? It can come and go, right? But I look at the word joy. Joy is something that we can look at to say, wow, I am so thankful for, my life or whatever. And I'm thankful for this direction that I'm going. I'm thankful for my kids. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for I got these things I'm thankful for. Okay. And I have joy in that. Now, what am I going to do to maintain that? Okay. Even in the tough times. Am I going to stop working out and eat pizza and sit on the couch because I'm feeling down? I'm feeling sad. Why? Again, that's an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. So if we give authority to the emotion, that's going to dictate what we do. Now, ask the question, is that moving us towards the vision that we want, or is it moving us away from that vision that we want? So in order to really clarify what that purpose is, you got to be bold, very bold to say, this is what I want. Now, what we talked about off air, one of the things we talked about off air, I won't bring up the other one, but one of the things we talked about is what I call the fear of success. Okay. And I can just share personally, when I lost everything in the divorce, I lost the building, I did bankruptcy, foreclosure. I mean, I lost everything. I think I told you all before. I walked out with a 1996 Ford Explorer, an old XR 200 dirt bike, and some tools and all the debt. Okay. Had nothing. So as I've moved forward and saying, this is what I want in life, this is what I want in life, then I'm sitting there going, yeah, but what happened to Steve when he had everything? And I did. I always say I had a life of having it all to a life of losing it all. So I had to overcome that fear of success, because what happened? I crashed. And when we look to these new seasons that we want, if we've never had, then how do you know? So many people will set themselves up to self-sabotage, okay? Because they want the success, but over here they're going, yeah, but it's going to really, really hurt when it fails. So they'll kind of
Or
self-sabotage, or they'll procrastinate. Go, Betsy.
the other thing too is that you feel like you might lose some loved ones along the way. That
Absolutely.
that fear of, well, if I become more successful, is that going to be threatening to others? Are they, you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely. But
and
let's go there real quick and define an example. Could be a loved one, a friend, or something. If we're sitting here saying, I want to get healthy and I want to lose weight, but they don't want to,
yep,
that might be, well, I better not, because they are, or I want to go over here and start this new job, but I don't want to leave my buddy over here. You
right.
know, what are you sacrificing for your goal? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think it's like you said, it's that fear of becoming that new person, going to that next chapter, right? And there is such a thing, and I don't even know how to verbalize this correctly, where you're almost addicted to that feeling of, say, depression, that feeling of, anger, that feeling of whatever it is, right, that's
Right.
got you stuck.
Right.
It has now become the comfort zone, right? And that's why you go back to it. Now I know people are listening to me going, oh my God, if she completely lost her marbles, who would want to be angry? Who would want to be fearful? Who would want to be sad? Who would want to be, but it becomes this thing that you know best. And when it goes away, you don't know how to handle it.
Right. Absolutely. Because we can become our identity becomes our emotions and our feelings. You see
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? That becomes our identity. And again, when you talk about depression or anxiety, that stuff's just going to continue to snowball. Okay. Every single day it will snowball if we don't take some action. Okay. Kind of like we're talking about here, it's understanding getting unstuck, even going to a new season, can manifest in depression or anxiety. Wow, I said it, you see. But I don't put that label on. It's those symptoms, but it's not true clinical depression or anxiety. That's what happens when you continue to stay down here and not getting stuck, not doing the work, or hanging around people who might continue to hold you back. You see,
Right.
that's still a choice.
Yep.
And we can, and I'm going to probably hurt some people's feelings when I say this, but I'll sit there and say, why are you pointing the finger to them when you got three pointing back to you? And that brings on that victim mentality. We start pointing the finger, well, I can't do it because of them or them or them. No, we have a choice, but we got to be crystal clear on the vision and the directions that we're going, because it will get challenged.
You know what drives me crazy is when people use it as a crutch or an excuse, right? Something that they're doing, let's say, poorly in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're drinking too much, they're an alcoholic, they're, smoking too much, they, whatever it is that they're doing that's basically sabotaging their life, okay? And they blame it on their past.
Right.
That drives me absolutely insane, stop blaming it on your past. Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say that you can erase the past or the past wasn't hurtful or there wasn't something terrible that happened. What I'm saying is you have control of your future.
Right.
And if you're putting a drink in your mouth, and you're putting a cigarette in your mouth, or you're obese because you're continuing to put pizza and donuts in your face. These are things I probably just offended a million people, but that's okay. Because these are the things that you have control over, right? And you can sit there and say, I don't have control over it because I have so much anxiety and I have so much depression because this is what happened in my past. There are places that you can go for help and support, right? But in the end, you have to wake up in the morning and say, I'm doing it today.
Right.
And why am I doing it?
Right.
Right. But
Exactly.
so many people, do you know that playing the victim is so much easier than
Oh, yeah.
actually taking control of your life?
Absolutely.
And always wanting that, that button, that switch that's going to save everything, that magical pill that you're going to take and everything's going to be
Right.
fine, right? That's
But
not how
Betsy,
it's done.
and I'm going to offend some other people here because it's not just about those that, yeah, substance abuse, food, that can be, exercise can be an addiction, money can be an addiction, relationships can be an addiction, sex can be an addiction. There's all these things out there that we look towards to medicate our stuckness.
Correct.
Okay. Let me share a quick story. Personally, when I was going through all that stuff, okay, I was still working my practice and everything, but at night I would go out afterwards. I'd stop like at 9, 10 o'clock at night from sessions because that's what else I had to do. So I'm sitting meeting folks, but then I go out and exercise. I lived our building was in the not the nicest part of town, and I would actually go out there. There's a dock out there, and I would work out. Right, 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. Then I was so angry, I would run around in the streets. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, I was looking to get some anger out. I would go by. I was in gang areas, and I'm like, somebody, please do something. It was stupid, but I was so hurt, so lost, so scared, so depressed, so anxious because I was in this new season. I was doing something that workout's good for you, exercise is good for you, you see. But in a sense, I was still looking for that outlet, and it was wrong because it was an emotion,
Right.
right? So it's all about balance, and I can still take it to a whole other level of fitness where I can work out all the time. All of a sudden, I'm hurting myself because I'm pushing myself too hard. So again, we have to find the balance. I'm not against drinking. If somebody wants to smoke, that's fine. But ask yourself the question, is it helping you move towards your goal, or are you using it as a crutch or a medication for something from the past? And it's just now your normal, you
Right.
see? And that's what we like to do in my counseling or my programs, is to go back there and to understand, what am I using? What tool am I using to medicate what?
Right. And to clarify that, I was talking about things that people say they want to give up, right?
Right,
I
right,
want to stop smoking. I want to stop drinking. I want to lose weight, that
right,
type of thing. But yet they say they can't because of what's happened to them in the past,
right,
right?
right.
Or what's happening to them in the present, and they need it, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So getting unstuck, if somebody say, well, Steve, okay, how do we get unstuck then? Again, my first question in my counseling, in my programs that I run, all these kind of things, I always ask this question. It's, what do you want? Because if somebody's going to do the work, why? If somebody's going to have to overcome a habit or an addiction, that's going to be tough. But why should I do this? If somebody's going to stop eating or get in shape, whatever that goal is, that's going to take some work. That's going to take some pushing through some habits and some withdrawals and some, you see. So it goes back to, what do you want? And then I could sit here and say, what kind of purpose can we put to that? Right?
Well, and why do you want it? Right?
Right. That's where I was
And
going. Absolutely. Go with
and
it.
yeah, and it's got to be for the right reasons. It's got to be for you. It can't be because somebody else told you to, or because society tells you you should be this way or that way, right? It has
Right.
got to be something that you want. You cannot be doing it for other people
Right.
because it'll never stick. You might be
Right.
able to do it temporarily, but then you're going to go right back to where you started.
Right.
So, and it's all about lifestyle change, right?
Exactly.
And that even goes with just the simplest of getting unstuck, right? I want to get more done during the day. I want to, be more productive and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's a lifestyle change. You need to start making lists for yourself. You need to
Right.
start making a schedule for yourself, and you need to do it for at least 3 weeks without making a mistake. I love the one where I think it's a little bit more than 3 weeks that you do it for. And every time you mess up, you have to go and start at the beginning again.
Right.
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 And that's fantastic because
Isn't it that hard 90, that workout program? If you slip, you have to go start over, something like that.
I don't know, that would be good too. But
They
I'm
use it in
talking about
that.
like just keeping a schedule, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm guilty of this. I mean, I'm still guilty of this to this day. I make my schedule and then I'm like, oh well, I didn't get that done today, or maybe I'm not gonna, and they say they're like, you really, really, really have to stick to it for 3 to 4 weeks, for it to
Right.
really become a habit. And what it is to become a habit is because at that point you start seeing the benefits of it, right?
Right. Right.
So when you start losing weight, you go on a weight loss program, in the beginning it's always frustrating because you're not really losing any weight. And you're like, why am I staying with this? Why am I staying with this? Right. And you finally start to lose weight. And that's when it's like, ding, ding, ding. This is why I did it. This is why I'm staying consistent with it.
Hmm.
And you realize if you sat back and you said, okay, what are the benefits for right now? Well, I feel like I, fit into my clothes better. That feels good.
Right.
I feel more energetic. I carry myself with better confidence and poise, right?
There you go.
And and you say to yourself, so after 3 weeks, sit down and say to yourself, okay, I did this for 3 weeks. Just be proud of yourself for doing it for 3 weeks. If that's anything, right? I mean, if that's all
Right.
you got
Right.
so far, just be proud that you stayed with something for 3 weeks, right? And that pride
Absolutely.
should follow you through to another 3 weeks and so on and so forth, and you'll start seeing all the different benefits, right?
Exactly. And see, like in my program, I counsel off the mental, physical, spiritual, social. Okay. And all you did was sit there. And we talked about earlier about how if we stay stuck, that's where depression can come in, anxiety can come in, those kind of things. All you did was take the physical leg of the chair and say, if I just start exercising, and there's a statistic out there that says that roughly if you walk for 4 or 5 times a week for like 20 to 30 minutes, there's a 47% reduction in depressive symptoms. 47%. That's not medication. That's not counseling. That's just by going out walking. So what you do just by doing that, raising that leg up of your chair, your emotional, your self-esteem, you feel better, natural antidepressants kick in, and you're feeling better about yourself. Why?
Yep.
You just moved into that new season of what do you want? So, I mean, I challenge everybody with that because if somebody, I want to go travel more, I want to do this with my kids when they're older, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. Well, are you taking care of yourself today physically and able to do that 10 years from now or whatever? So you put purpose behind that vision of what you're wanting to get unstuck of. Then, like you said earlier, you're going to have to look at your environment here to say who is on me. I'm not saying we have to cut people off. I'm saying we have to put up a healthy boundary here to sit there and going, I love you, but I'm not going to listen to you because I don't know if I trust that you have my best interests in mind, you see,
Right.
because I'm going here. Yeah, you can still have a
What's
relationship with them, you can still hang out and have fun, but you just don't share, like you were saying earlier, you just don't share everything because I don't know if I trust that person.
right? I mean, here's a perfect example. If you go on a diet and you go out to dinner and you tell people that you're on a diet, oh, come on, you can take one night off, right?
Right. Cheat
So
day.
don't tell them that you're on a diet. Just say, you know what, I had a big lunch. I'm not very hungry. I think I'm just going to get, a small salad and a cup of soup, right?
There you go.
Or I'm just going to get a piece of salmon and, some steamed vegetables on the side, whatever it is, right? Just you can make up little white lies are fine. You know, it's going to take you toward your goal and that's fine.
Well, is it even a white lie? It's not even a white lie. You're sitting here
Yeah.
going, You know what? This is all I want to eat right now. Oh, come on. Here, have some nachos. You know, I had a big lunch, because you might have had a big lunch. And if it
Right.
could be a protein bar and a granola bar or yogurt. I don't care if that's still a big lunch if you're on it. So really,
It's
it's just
relative.
guarding. It's guarding your seed. You're growing something. I don't want that person to come step on my seed, okay? Because I'm growing something here. I want
Yep.
people who's going to sit there and going, "Wow, you're looking good. Oh, you know what? I know you're on a diet. Well, let's just have grilled chicken. Or hey, is it okay if I go ahead and get this pizza? Or is that gonna offend? Is that gonna make you stumble or fall?" Well, that's a person I can go out and eat with because I trust them. They're
Right.
guarding. They're helping me. You see.
So I've got a question for you. What do you do about people that say they want X in their life, right? But yet they make up every excuse as to why they can't take the steps that are necessary to take toward it.
Well, it goes back. All I would do was I when I listen to my clients when they're talking about that, I write down what they want, right? All we're doing is they're hitting, see that, like you said earlier, the subconscious comes back up and that starts coming out, all those beliefs, and I'll just write them down. I'll just write them down. And then I'll just repeat back to them. Look how quickly you said I want this, but look how quickly you're saying I can't do it. So right there, it's like I have them write down on a piece of paper. One side's the positive things and one side's the negative things. And I just sit there and look at them, line them up. It's like, you're doing this here because it's affecting this one over here. You do this over here, and you see. So and then the other thing is, it's like we can't save everybody,
Right. Right.
and it comes a point where going, well, I can't do this. Eventually, if somebody's coming to you for help or counsel, and I do this, I'll help you as best I can, but I'm not going to move forward to tell you something like go on medication, or oh, it's all going to work out, or God will take care of it, or no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to sit here and say, here's what you want. Here are the things that are stopping you. What are you going to do about that?
Well, do you feel like sometimes people ask for help, even though they have no intention of actually taking the suggestions and the help that you're
Totally.
providing to them, just so that they can say
Totally.
they tried?
Oh, I get that all the time in couples counseling and those kind of things. And the husband's over here going, I'm here. Yeah. I'm going, okay, dude, what do you want? I'll make her happy. I just want to have sex again. Come on, Steve, fix her. Whatever. It's like, no, dude, time out. Right there just shows that he's not invested. He doesn't want, or he's being selfish, or he doesn't want to work on things or whatever. So there comes that time in a relationship. Go, you have
No,
something.
I was going to say, you could look at him. I mean, I was just thinking of that when you said that. I was thinking of sex because I'm like, what if she showed up in bed and that was her, disposition? All right. I mean, if I
Oh,
have to, let's go.
I use that all
You
the
know what I'm
time.
saying?
I use that all the time.
Yeah. So don't show up at therapy like that because no, you
Yeah,
need.
it's funny you said that. If I can be more bold, I do that. I'll sit there and I'll look at the guy. I'm going, okay, so how do you honor her? How do you respect her? How do you date her? How do you listen to her? How do you support her throughout the day with the kids, with that, with it? That's where you get sometimes guys say, yeah, but I work a job. Well, so does she. We talked about that. But I take that example and I'll sit there and go, okay, so when you guys sit down, you're gonna have sex tonight. So she just goes like, all right, go. Are you done? Okay. And I look at him and he's going, I said, no, you want sex. You want love making. It's
Right.
sex and there's love making. You want love making. You want to, so we have to come back to those times. I said, okay, dude, let's go there. When was it good? When blah, 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 blah. And now he goes, what was good back here? I said, now tell me, what were you doing? What was your relationship like during that time? That all of a sudden she was going, wow, I'm really connected to you. I want to be with you sexually. You're probably being there for her emotionally. It's a
Well,
give.
that's
See,
exactly what I was just about to say. Was that it? Sex doesn't just happen when you enter the bedroom, right?
right.
It happens all day long, every
It's
day.
foreplay all day.
Yeah. Then we're not talking about you're not touching each other and ripping clothes off
No.
all day long. We're just talking about you got to be there emotionally for them. You have
Right.
to do little things that, and it doesn't have to be big things, just
No.
little things,
Right.
that I'm going to help you out with that because I know you need help with that today. Or I'm going to give you, that hour that you need to go, for a jog, or,
Right.
whatever it is. Or
Right.
guess what? I took your car and got the oil changed for you because, I knew
Right.
that needed to be done. Little things like that,
Right.
or talking, knowing when. Here's a big thing. Here's a real big thing. Knowing when somebody needs to talk. Knowing when there's something wrong, you can tell that they're upset about something or that they're stressed out about something, and just bring it up. Sometimes they don't want to
Right.
talk about the fact that you just acknowledge that you saw that in them, that you
Right.
were present enough emotionally for them to notice that they needed a little help
Right.
somehow, right? That's huge. That's just like you said, it's that emotional connection that you can go with, that you can
Right.
create all day long, right? But
And
when you're totally disconnected all day long and you come home from work and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's have
thank
sex.
you. You just segue into my visual aid here. Then these things come into play. People come home from work and he's on this, he's going, oh, that's a sweet truck. And she's over here going, oh my gosh, Susie's on, I can't believe she said this. And you're sitting there going back and forth in your own little world over here. And you miss those opportunities to sit there and going, honey, you okay? Or honey, how was your day? Just those basic things that they were doing way back here, when they were courting, when they were dating, when they were doing all that kind of stuff, man, you're hitting everything. You're talking to each other. You're loving on each other. You're doing things for each other. That's why you fell in love. That's why I wouldn't say fell in love. And why you grow in love, you see.
So do
And
you
then
think,
these things start.
I think, when you're first starting to date, that, so some people get married and they don't have a ton of stuff, I shouldn't say in common, a ton of stuff like activities that they share, right? But they have something, right? They had to have something in the beginning,
Right.
whether it was going to see live music or going to the museum or, whatever it was that they loved to do together. And then as, you get married and you get busy and kids, come along and all that stuff, you tend to not make time to do that stuff together, right? Because it's not only stuff you
Absolutely.
can do together, it's stuff that you can discuss together, stuff that you can plan together, which is so important. And a lot of times I see these couples that, the woman does everything with her female friends and the man does everything with his male friends. And sometimes they all get together and have a group dinner, whatever, maybe go on a
Right.
group vacation. But there's not a lot that they do, just the two of them together, that they have. And
Right.
so I either say, go back to finding time to do whatever it is that you shared in the beginning, or find something that you
Right.
guys share that you can, that, like, my boyfriend and I, we plan vacations together, we hunt together, we do everything together, we play volleyball together. I mean, there's so much that we share, and that's so important. I
Right.
mean, it's, because it's having your best friend and your partner all together in one.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you have to be like us where you share so many things and do everything together, but you definitely need those one or
Right.
two things that I think we lose along the way.
So again, taking what we look where we went today. We just took this into individuals and we took it into individuals, mental, physical, all that kind of stuff. And what do we want? But then we also took it into the relational. How many couples are out there, just like you and I were at the time, we're both divorced. I mean, you can look back on that stuff as hindsight and you go, no, that's hindsight's 2020, which is why we're doing what we're doing here, is to bring that resource. But look what we did today, just to say how many couples out there are stuck, which is very normal. And you got kids, you got responsibilities, you got all that stuff. But look at that one thing that Betsy said was, how do you make yourselves in your relationship a priority? How do you give yourselves permission to date each other again? You see, not just go right to the sex and that kind of stuff. No. It'll become lovemaking when you go back to that place of just doing those two things. And I guarantee you, the kids will be so much happier. The home will be so much happier. There'll be less stress because you guys are reconnecting as a couple. Okay.
And again, let's go back to this, kind of obsessive behavior that we do when we are not happy, which is we either overeat, overdrink, we excessively exercise. we won't feel the need to do that when we're being fulfilled in that way. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, it affects everything. I'm going to ask Cliff real quick, but we've
Sure.
got 10 minutes left. Cliff, if you're still there, and well, you are still there, I can see you. Um, Cliff, tell me something that keeps your relationship going after all this time. I happen to know Cliff, so I know that he is in a wonderful relationship.
I was going to say, you're putting him on the spot there.
I know. I know. He
Go,
doesn't
Cliff,
have to
go.
answer. You don't
You
have to
got this,
answer.
buddy.
You don't have to answer, Cliff. You can be quiet if you want to. But I just thought maybe if you wanted to chime in and give us some pearls of relationship wisdom.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I always look at we've all seen them, right? That elderly couple that are still holding hands when they're walking, not to hold each other up, but
Yeah, why are they holding each other up?
I can't really walk, you can't really walk. Let's hold on to each other. No, I mean, really.
We'll pick the romantic side of it. Go with it, Betsy. The romantic side, not the functional side. The romantic. Go.
Yeah, but I always look at them and think to myself, wow, I wonder how much stuff they've made it through, right?
Yeah.
How many
Oh, yeah.
trials have they made it through in their relationship? I mean, in my head, they've been married forever. And now in reality, they could have, gotten married at 70. I don't know. But in my head, here's a couple that's been together for 50 years or whatever, and they're still holding hands. Do I need to unmute? No, just type Cliff. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if I can let you talk.
We're
Hold
not
on.
that tech savvy yet.
I saw it somewhere in here. Wait, hold on. No, not there. I don't know where it is, Cliff. Yeah, just type it if you can, Cliff. And next time I will allow you to talk.
We'll get Bailey on that one too.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Maybe when I click on Cliff, no. It was funny.
I promised Bailey I wouldn't click on anything because I'd cut somebody off. So I'm not touching my screen.
Right. So Bailey is Steve's son. Well, I don't know that we've ever actually had him come in and introduce himself. But
I need to do that sometime. We need to have him on. Hey, he could bring us a whole other perspective on the younger folks.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. We'll have him on sometime.
Yeah. He's a great kid. How old is he now?
He's 23.
Okay. Yep. Which is just about when they're mature enough to start talking about that stuff. They're just getting into that. Yeah. That's
exactly
awesome. But yeah, no, so Bailey tries to keep us on track. I said to Bailey today, I said, we're just preparing you if you should ever want to teach preschool, because our knowledge of tech is about at a preschool level, I feel sometimes.
I think he'd slam me right after that, saying, I'm not even at preschool, so
Right. Yeah, you just started walking. Oh Lord. It is something else sometimes, I tell you.
It's fun. Hey, we got unstuck. We look for resources to get unstuck.
Right. Well, I was so proud of myself today because I was like, oh yeah, I did everything right. I just didn't spell it correctly. So there's that. Oh well. So anyway, well, I don't know if Cliff is typing or not. We'll just wait to see if he gives us any pearls of wisdom here. But yeah, so what do we want to talk about in the future? This is something that I wish everybody would join our Facebook group and contact us or email us and let us know. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to hear? What are the struggles that you have? What are questions that you want answers to? I don't know if we can always answer them, but we will try our hardest. Okay, so it says, my wife and I both run and do that together. Been married 30 years plus. We walk our dog every day together also. See, isn't that awesome? So they're doing 2 legs right there, right?
Right.
They got 2 out of the 4 legs. They're doing their physical and their personal, right? What do you call them? You call them?
I call it. What they're doing is actually the social. They're doing the social.
Oh, so you call it social. That's right. Yeah.
They're doing this together. And I would also say the spiritual. I'm sitting there going, awesome. I think you guys are blessed. They're thankful. They're grateful. They sacrifice for each other. They do all what I call the power of forgiveness and grace and all those kind of things. And then they're out walking together. They're running together. You see. Oh, there he goes. And now we're talking about resolving things. So now comes the emotional. Now they have that emotional connection. They're talking about issues, conflicts, fun things, bad things, whatever, while they're talking and walking, which is excellent because that keeps the adrenaline down and everything, and it works for them, which I would highly, highly, highly recommend what Cliff is doing to anybody out there who's in a relationship. Please follow what he's doing, because look what they're doing. Who wants to sit on a chair like this? Nobody, but most people do, because they're not doing the things Cliff and his wife are doing. They're doing this, which is why they've been married 30 plus years. So bravo, awesome. Thank you, Cliff, for
And if
that
it's
example.
allergy season when they're on that walk, what are they doing, Steve?
They love each other. They just blow the snot and everything. It's all good. They 30
They're
years.
sneezing. There's an inside joke there that maybe someday we'll share with you guys.
Yep.
We're not really
There
sure.
he goes. There he goes. Sneezing. Oh boy.
Sneezing.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
See?
We'll have to have Cliff on that show too.
I may have told Cliff my theory on sneezing. I don't know.
Okay.
If you guys, I'm telling you, you got to tune in to the next
Well,
webinar, or maybe the next one after that. Don't know when
it-
I'm going to have the guts to actually divulge my sneezing theory.
I think it's very profound. I think it'll be a very very good podcast. I really do.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we could almost spend a whole hour on that too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So let's go through again real quick. I am going to rattle off how to get in contact with us. So we have our Facebook group, which is if you just look up Facebook groups. And I do have to say, I don't think we've ever mentioned how funny this is. So we come up with this name, No BS with BS. And when you put it all together, like if you did no BS with BS.com, it's knobs with BS. But so I'm not,
Okay.
so it's just anyway.
Thank you, Betsy.
But please go to No BS with BS instead of Knobs with BS Facebook group. We also have our YouTube channel where you can see all the replays, and some little clips from the replays are on there too. So go to our YouTube channel, also No BS with BS. And then for Steve, if you want to email him, it's in the chat, but I'm just going to say it for people that are not looking at the chat. Stay strong, stay focused, 60, stay strong, stay focused, 60@gmail.com. And for me, it is support@betsyflorence.com. So BETSYFLORENCE.com. And we have she would see that. Well, I don't know what that means, Cliff, but I think that means that Cliff wants to see what the sneezing theory is all about, and maybe his wife is going to watch. Okay, so we are almost out of time. Any profound thoughts before we go, Steve?
Oh, I just thank everybody for being here, and anybody who's going to be watching this on the repeat. Again, please reach out. Please talk about any questions, anything that you guys want to talk about. Please put it in our Facebook group, and we will jump on it. And I'm just excited to continue to meet everybody, and just I'm enjoying myself. So let's keep having fun, but putting purpose behind what we're doing.
Yeah, and I have to say, Steve and I talked about this off camera before we got on, and we've been having such great conversations with people. People really coming to us and saying, "Hey, really appreciate what you're doing. What do you think of this? This is what's going on with me, or this is what I'm trying to strive for. What are your suggestions?" And we love that. I mean, we really, that's what we're here for, and that's what we want to do, is to help people. And like Steve said, oh, by the way, we totally forgot. We didn't even tell everybody we were on a podcast on Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the Awakened Collective. Sorry, Rick.
Sorry, Rick.
So Rick Gregory had us on the Awakened Collective, and it was a great conversation. So if you have time, look up the Awakened Collective, and you will see Rick Gregory is his name. I know because there's a couple different Awaken collectives if you look it up. So it's the Awaken Collective with Rick Gregory, and he's got some great podcasts. He is a spiritual counselor, spiritual coach, I guess you call him. And we just got on and talked about what we did and talked about that, you know, how we started this, why we started this, and what we're trying to achieve. And that is really just kind of helping people because we've gone through it and come out the other side, and we want to be able to, you know, to be there to help people do the same. So
Amen.
that is it for today. So we should have some kind of cool sign off. We got to work on that.
Yeah, we do. We're going to work on that. Yeah, next time we have to have some salute or some sign off with some cool music. We'll figure something out here.
We're doing like signs, like we're the third base coach all of a sudden.
That's exactly what I was doing.
I know.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Cliff. Cliff says this was an amazing webinar. Both of you are great together. Also aren't afraid to tackle any subject. That is true.
That's us. So, no BS.
Thank you, Cliff, and thank you for tuning in. And we will see you guys next time.
Right on. See y'all.
All right. See ya.